Welcome to another edition of the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. I'm the voice of the Patriots, Richard Todd, here with Athletic Director and Head Varsity Football Coach Steve LaPrade. The Goose Creek Gators come to Patriot Field at Bagwell Stadium for a game, and a game, Coach, that happened just a few days after another game. You had to move the Ashley Ridge game because of Hurricane Ian. That's a short week and a tough, short time to prepare, and tough to get the team up for the game, I guess, after you just put so much into the Ashley Ridge game just a few days ago.
Yeah, I mean, but Goose Creek had the same thing. They played Berkeley on Monday, so, I don't think it was a disadvantage or advantage for either one of us.
Challenge as a coach, though?
It was different. I really felt this is probably the best week I think we have had. Most enjoyable week for me. We've had a tough year. We've had a lot of things happening on and off the field, so this week was, I kind of had some fun coaching, which I hadn't been having a whole lot the whole year. So this was a pretty good week, and I think we're starting to come together and make some plays, and some guys are starting to settle into what they do well, and I'm kind of happy where we're at right now.
It's been a number of weeks since the Patriots had a home game. They went on the road against the 5A state champions. They had to dodge Hurricane Ian and the death of Coach Jack Radcliffe that shook the program. So it's good to get back home, and we're going to get to the highlights as the Goose Creek Gators take on the Fort Dorchester Patriots. First quarter action coming up as the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show continues next.
We took our signature sandwich and cranked it up to 11. With bacon and cheese, it's the new Signature Club, remixed by Zaxby's.
Okay, the coach of the week against Goose Creek was Freddie Hamilton. Freddie Hamilton comes from a history of football coach. His dad, that's how old I am. I coached with his dad a few years at Somerville. Probably the best football coach I've ever been around. So Freddie Hamilton, he works for me now. His son works for me. He's just a football machine. He's put numerous Division I defensive linemen, one after another, in college here at Fort Dorchester. Freddie's an integral part of everything we do here. What a great guy, good friend of mine. Love having him on our staff. He brings a lot to the table. So, Freddie Hamilton, you're my coach of the week against Goose Creek High School.
And welcome back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. Let's go to the action in the first quarter of Fort Dorchester hosting the Goose Creek Gators, and it sure does feel like it has been a long time since we've been at home, and so much has happened in those weeks since we've been on the road, and so many different things. And so we come back home, and right out the gate, Goose Creek gets a 45-yard pass, 35-yard touchdown pass, 3 plays, 7-0, just like that.
It's football. It's not what you want. I remember, I think we played Somerville last year, and the opening kickoff, they run it for a time. I mean, it's not what you want as a head coach, but it's a test of what you've done as a coaching staff and as a team, and the kids are going to fight back, they're going to panic, whatever. So I think I didn't like it. Obviously, they scored very quickly. I knew they could throw the ball. They had good receivers. I was worried about that before the game started. I was, and it came true fast. Obviously, we were down 7, and I didn't like it, but I was okay with it. But obviously, then they come back and do throw a dolly. It seemed like it was a 100-yard pass. But they had all night long. They would fumble the ball, and they'd take off running and make a first. They'd have a broken play and make a first down, or I mean, it was a crazy night. But as we'll talk about later, we got down 2 touchdowns, 14-0. So now I was a little concerned, because we hadn't moved the ball that much, and obviously they were having scoring at will. So it was a little spooky there for a while, but we kind of settled down and got with it.
Well, in the thick of region play, and you guys know each other so well. Now, we had a nice interception from Chris Brabham there on defense. Fort Dorchester's first down came with 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. And then you mentioned the 95-yard touchdown pass by Goose Creek that made you a 14-0 deficit just like that. And that is sort of uncharted territory for Fort Dorchester this year, getting that far down, and it was interesting to see the resilience of the team.
It was, you know, I mean, we were down. I mean, you know, the Grayson game, we obviously ended up being down by more than 14, and obviously the Clearwater game, we were down. And, you know, I mean, I think those were learning experiences. You know, I didn't feel like we panicked.
They could draw on that.
We were concerned, to say the least. But we didn't. I didn't feel like we panicked, and we didn't quit. That's the biggest thing. We didn't quit.
Well, and then a great offensive series where you had Davion Brown with a 25-yard run. Davion had a great game for the Patriots that ended up in a Zoltan Osborne 1-yard touchdown pass to number 12, Cam Crummy, and it would be 14-7 at the end of the first quarter, so you had to feel better the way the quarter ended versus the way it started.
Well, you know, we've had to flip the script so many times. You know, last week, you know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we couldn't throw it at all because we had to put a wide receiver in at quarterback, and then we get Zoltan back, and he still can't really throw it. So, you know, we threw, I think, 4 times against Ashley Ridge. You know, so, and Goose Creek's, they got a good coaching staff. They got tough kids. They're used to winning. So, you know, it was a chess match, you know, and they came in, they weren't going to let us run the football. And, you know, thank goodness Zoltan's probably was 85% tonight, and thank goodness for that. Our receivers have had a fantastic week at practice, probably caught the ball better this week than they have, and I think it showed tonight. You know, we did some strategic things with our receivers this week, and I think it paid off.
Well, 14-7 Fort Dorchester after the 14-7 Goose Creek over Fort Dorchester at the end of the first quarter. But there is so much more to talk about in what was a really interesting game against a couple of rivals. We'll get to more of the Goose Creek Fort Dorchester highlights into the second quarter next as the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show continues next.
My offensive player of the week against Goose Creek is Multi Snyder. Multi Snyder's a junior here at Fort Dorchester. He's really starting to hit his own here lately. He's a receiver for us, number 84, and I think he had 2 touchdowns tonight, as did, you know, it's hard not to have Darius Balaam in here too. He had a great game too as a receiver, as did DeAndre Ham, but I'm going to go with Multi tonight. So Multi, you're my offensive player of the week against Goose Creek.
We took our signature sandwich and cranked it up to 11. With bacon and cheese, it's the new Signature Club, remixed by Zaxby's.
And we welcome you back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. The Patriots trail at home 14-7 to Goose Creek as we get into second quarter action. And Coach, one of the pivotal plays of the game came right at the beginning of the second quarter. Fumble deep in the red zone for Goose Creek. It was Jaden Acevedo, number 91, picking up that fumble and putting the Patriots immediately in scoring territory. That was the sort of a changer of a momentum right there.
Yeah, Jaden's really, I mean, he's kind of been in our program. He's still young. He's a junior this year, but he's really come on. He's been a staple for us on the defensive line. You know, he makes a lot of things happen, and he really cares. He cares about this team.
Remember calling his name a lot tonight, and that turned right around into a 6-yard touchdown pass from Zoltan Osborne to Darius Balaam, and just like that, it's 14 off.
Yep. You know, and I felt good, and here we go again. Yep. So, but you know, it was good. We kind of fought back, and you know, I felt good about it. And you know, a lot of people, I knew coming in this was going to be a game. I mean, I did. You know, you look at the record, and I mean, I shouldn't say this, but I'll be surprised. They're in Region 6. We're in Region 7. I'll be surprised if they don't win Region 6. I'll be surprised if they lose a region football game. I really will.
We will pay attention to that.
I think, well, I don't know. A lot of people don't think I know what I'm talking about. So, but I'll be surprised if they lose a region football game.
Well, the Patriots even it up at 14 apiece, and then just like that, Goose Creek gets a 35-yard pass play. You add on 2 personal fouls to give them another 30 yards, and all of a sudden you get a 4-yard touchdown run on the Wildcat formation, and Goose Creek jumps back out 21-14. The Patriots would end up with 6 personal fouls in the first half alone. And is there a worry that you're going to be in a game in the postseason and something like that happens and can cost you the game in the season?
It's a big worry, and we dwell on it every single day at practice, and it's a big time worry. Hopefully they're going to get it. They haven't. I mean, if I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Unfortunately, we got some players that want to get that last word or last push, and it doesn't work. They always see the last one.
And it seems like they let their team down in doing so, and they really lose focus and the mental focus that they need to do what they need for the team. And it really, that personal behavior really hurts the team.
Well, it just kills me because we play so hard and we get a stop and we do this. If it's happened once, it's probably happened 20 times this year.
Sure.
And we'll get a stop. We'll play three good plays on defense and stop them, and then do something stupid, and get a penalty, And I mean, as a coach, I don't know, if it's just one or 2 guys, I could bench them, but it's not, it's a team problem. I'll keep working at it. Hopefully they'll finally figure it out, I mean, it's already cost us 1 ball game. I really felt like the personal foul we got at Gaffney cost us the Gaffney game. And I know these guys want to win, so hopefully they're going to listen and do the right thing. I don't know.
What was great was after Goose Creek jumped back to a 21-14 lead, throughout the night, Goose Creek's kickoffs had been coming up a little short. On that ensuing kickoff, number 4, Michael Smalls picked it up, 65-yard touchdown run on the kickoff return to tie it right back up at 21.
Yeah, we saw on film they don't really kick it deep and they squib it a lot. So we kind of changed our alignment around a little bit. Instead of letting the ball roll for 30, 40 yards, we would get somebody to intercept it there in the middle at about 25.
That's a good guy to get it.
So that's why we put him there. So they kicked it right to him, and we did really well on the kickoff returns tonight. I think almost every single one of them, I don't know what we averaged. We probably averaged 25, 30, 40 yards.
And great field position, starting oftentimes on the other side of the 50. So.
Yeah, it hurt. Their kicking game hurts them a little bit, and I'm sure Jason will get that straight. But yeah, it hurts them a little bit. Puts them in a bad hole.
Patriots have a 21-21 tie after that kickoff return. Couple more personal fouls, a late hit, face mask. Some of those can be questioned whether they were. Some of those were definitely earned, but a good 4th down stop for the Patriots. And you turn right around and you get a 36-yard pass to number 14, DeAndre Ham. Zoltan gets a 25-yard run on a great run-pass option, but a holding call calls that touchdown back. And I know that was frustrating because you're trying to close the half strong, and you get those touchdowns called back, then you just don't know how that can affect.
It did. It hurt us, but I think we ended up getting a field goal here.
Christian Wilson, 33-yard field goal.
Christian had a great night.
He did.
Think what he had,
a lot of touchbacks.
He did. He did a good job. He kicked, I think, the ball in the end zone probably 3, 4, 5 times. So it's good. I mean, offensively, we had 2 games we didn't score at all, and now the last 2 games we're probably averaging about 45 points a game. So, last week we about shut them out. I think they scored with 8 seconds left on the clock at Ashley Ridge. And this week we kind of, really as far as them driving the ball, I don't feel like they drove the ball on us. It was either penalties or the long ball. So those are things we're just going to have to work on, because as the competition gets better and better, that's what people are going to see in film, and that's what they're going to come after us. So we just work on it, and like I said, I think we went in at half 24. I think they got a field goal too.
In fact, yeah,
went in 24-24.
It felt like Goose Creek had watched some film. Is really what it felt like when the game started.
Sure.
And after that 33-yard field goal to make it 24-21, there was a pass interference call, face mask call that moved the ball down the field. We got to just say for a moment there was a gruesome injury for a Goose Creek offensive lineman during the game, and we really hope that he's doing fine. The players' reactions spoke volumes when they immediately called for the sideline to come out, and then they kind of walked away because it was just a twisted leg that was going the wrong way.
Yeah, it stinks. I mean, you hate to ever see any kids get hurt, you know. And these two groups, I mean, they're edgy kids. They play hard. They're very, very physical. They play a physical game. We play a physical game, and you know, you hate to see that happen to anybody, you know. So hopefully he'll be okay. Yeah,
I really hope he's doing okay. And those penalties we just talked about led to a 21-yard field goal for Goose Creek to tie the game up at 24. And you're trying to get some points right before the half. Get down in the Goose Creek red zone after a 36-yard pass play from Zoltan to Multi-Snyder. But then Zoltan fumbled on a play where he was under a lot of pressure, and it looked like maybe he should have thrown the ball away so you could get some points before half.
Yeah, I'd like to redo that one. Yeah, I didn't like the call. I didn't like what we did. I just didn't like anything that we did right then. I thought we kind of messed that up. But, you know, you can't, I don't think we had, 12, 14 seconds. And wide side of the field ain't the place to be going. So, but we did, and then he gets hit, and then he gets hurt. So, you know, that was, everything about that play was bad, from it not working to him getting hurt. And, you know, so that obviously ended the half. I thought at least we could get a field goal or hopefully a touchdown. And, of course, I just didn't think we did a real good job on our play call and didn't do a real good job offense. That's on me. That's my fault. I didn't like what we did, so it is what it is. That's my fault.
A little bit of everything in that first half. 24-24 tie score going into halftime. Second half action is coming up with Goose Creek at Fort Dorchester as we continue with the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show next.
My defensive player of the week against Goose Creek is Jaden Acevedo. Jaden's a junior here at Fort Dorchester, defensive lineman number 91. He's really coming on last few weeks. He's starting to hit his own. He's a big time. He's done some great things for us the last 2 weeks. So I hope he continues to improve. He's a great team guy, loves this team, loves football, lives and breathes it. So Jaden Acevedo, you're my defensive player of the week against Goose Creek.
We took our signature sandwich and cranked it up to 11. With bacon and cheese, it's the new Signature Club, remixed by Zaxby's.
And welcome back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show. The Patriots hosting the Goose Creek Gators, and the game tied at 24 as the third quarter starts. And Coach, what was the difference in the second half? Defensively, you would only give up one touchdown late in the fourth quarter in the second half, and it also seemed like you picked up the pace and went a little bit hurry up on offense. And what we discussed earlier about these kickoff concerns that Goose Creek had, you guys taking advantage, all of those things kind of played into fruition in the third quarter, but there was a change for the Patriots in the second half.
Yeah, we made a few little adjustments at halftime, which helped. And then, you know, the kids, I mean, we got a good bunch. They're so close to being a really good football team. If I could just get across to them to quit getting these personal fouls. And, I mean, we're edgy, so we're going to get aggressive penalties, but we got to quit getting these stupid penalties. It's absolutely killing us. And it's going to backfire on us if we don't get it straight. But, you know, we came out second half, you know, I think the resilience of our team, and they wanted to win. And, I mean, I thought they came out and just totally handled Goose Creek second half.
And the Patriots got the ball first in the third quarter, and it's ended up with a Zion Reynolds 11-yard touchdown run to go up 31-24. And the defense really set the tone there in the third quarter. Goose Creek really couldn't do much at all. And you had short fields, ended up with another nice field goal from Christian Wilson for a 29-yarder to make it 34-24. And so all of a sudden, Fort Dorchester gets a 2-score lead, and then you get a beautiful 48-yard touchdown pass from Zoltan to Multi-Snyder on a slant. That was just a picture perfect, and all of a sudden a tie game is all of a sudden a 17-point lead for the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, like I said, we kind of zeroed in on some receivers this week.
Darius Balaam and Snyder.
Snyder did a good job. Darius, Trey Ryan's still out a little bit, so Cam's come in and done a really good job, So and then DeAndre Ham, those guys did a great job tonight. So and they had a great week of practice. Hopefully they'll just continue to get better and better. We obviously got somebody that can stand back there and spin it. So, I thought they did. The receivers had a great night.
Well, let me ask you about that guy who can stand back there and spin it, because Zoltan would get another one, a 39-yard touchdown pass to number 14, Darius Balaam, and the Patriots all of a sudden put 24 points on the board in the third quarter and take a 48-24 lead. But it seemed like every time that Zoltan threw it, he was feeling a little pain in that shoulder. He's missed a few games this season. He got hurt there at the end of the second quarter, and he ended up coming out of the game. Obviously, he had a big lead, but he still seems like the lingering effects of the injury from earlier in the season.
Well, I mean, I know he hurts, and I told him, I said, man, go to South Carolina, go to Clemson, go to Citadel, go to Charleston, go wherever, and I guarantee you the quarterback's hurt. It's part of the game. And I was glad, that was good for him today. He got back in there a little bit. He wasn't 100%, but he got in there and he played. And, I would probably be willing to bet probably 75% of the guys on both sides of that ball were the same way. Everybody, it's a tough sport, and you're going to have little stuff, and you got to fight through it at times. So I think, honestly, for me, I thought Zoltan grew up tonight. If he's going to play big-time ball, which I think he can, that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be that way all the time.
When we're talking about Zoltan, and we mentioned how good the defense was, should mention the offensive line as well, because they did give him good protection, and you did start getting those holes in the running game going as well.
Well, early we were getting beat a little bit up front, and I don't know. We came out of the gate, didn't do a real good job up front, which was, gosh, they've done so well the last 2 or 3 weeks. That was not a good thing. They kind of settled down. Joey Steele talked to them a little bit, got them settled down, made a few little adjustments, and we kind of got where we could run the ball and throw it a little bit. So it was, it was good. I thought this was another good thing for our team. That's a good, tough game. That's, a lot of people don't play Goose Creek around here.
And by the way, it looked
there's
also...
a reason why they don't play them.
It looked also like sometimes you switch up your defensive front to a 3-man front versus a 4-man, trying to change the pressure and really got to the quarterback more.
Yeah, we did. And he scrambles good. He runs good. He's a good ball player. He is. He's a good ball player. So he'll have a good college career. He got roughed up pretty good tonight too. He kept getting back in there. So I've got a very I do. I think a lot of that kid.
Yeah, he's slick, and he showed some poise in the pocket, and he's committed to Mercer, and so he's got. He showed a good game for them.
He showed me tonight. I didn't know he was that tough. He's pretty dang tough.
Well, the Patriots.
He's a good one.
Patriots get 24 points in the third quarter and go up 48-24, but there's much more to talk about in the fourth quarter and what's to come as we'll look into the fourth quarter of the Goose Creek Fort Dorchester game, and the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show continues next.
We took our signature sandwich and cranked it up to 11. With bacon and cheese, it's the new Signature Club, remixed by Zaxby's.
(48-24), the Patriots have a 24-point third quarter. We welcome you back to the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show as we look at fourth quarter action in the Patriots hosting the Goose Creek Gators. And after 6 personal fouls in the first half, it would be 8 personal fouls in the second half for the Patriots, a total of 14. When you add in Goose Creek personal fouls, you had over 20 in the game. I wrote the word chippy down when the fourth quarter started, and it definitely felt like as the fourth quarter went, it kind of started devolving a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't. I hate when it gets like that. But, we got both groups are edgy kids, and they both want to win. They're both used to winning all the time, and you know, and it's it got way too chippy, and you know, I mean, it's awful. I'm big on, I don't mind getting after it and all that, but you know, both groups started running their mouths and pushing and this and that, and I was really concerned we would lose somebody, you know, because I mean, it's tough when somebody's talking about you or pushing you, and you know, the first thing you want to do is retaliate. So, you know, it was tough on both sides. I'm sure Coach Winstead felt the same way. He's probably worried about somebody getting thrown out, and I was too. And you know, I don't know. I thought at times officiating didn't really take care of things, and they let it escalate.
Absolutely.
And, you know, the worst call you can make is off. Both groups are unsportsmanlike. I'm like, that ain't doing any good. That's not going to stop anybody.
There were several offsetting penalties.
Yeah, that doesn't do any good. But I guess, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, it got a little chippy, and you know, we got some guys in there and got some of our good ones out of there, and our starters. So you know, at least some guys got to play. But yeah, it got too chippy. Yeah, it got to where, as a head coach, it was scary that you thought somebody was going to do something and you're going to lose them for a couple of games.
Absolutely. You thought it could escalate into something that could get much worse. We will mention
scary.
In the fourth quarter, Bryce Carpenter with an interception. You had Charles Watson in as backup quarterback as you had some ice on Zoltan's shoulder, and he had a fumble in there as well. More personal fouls, and just a quick end touchdown for Goose Creek, a 2-yard touchdown run to give us the final score of 48-31. But by the end of the game, the chippiness had got to such a level that they just said, let's roll the clock and skip the handshake line and go ahead and move on.
And I told me and Jason, I mean, he's like me. I mean, they could have probably shook hands and been fine because they're that kind of kids. They just play hard. But I was like, man, I just didn't want to go through that. And I hate that because I like shaking hands after a game. Now, me and Jason did, but I like the kids shaking hands. And I guarantee you, I'd be willing to bet it would have probably been fine. But you always try to
err on the side of caution.
Exactly, because you don't want to lose, you know, the game. I mean, it doesn't matter if the game's over. You got to keep that film rolling through the handshake, and any of them do anything, they're high school league, throw them out. So, I don't know. You know, I hated that, though. I like shaking hands even after you have a good battle like that. That's just something you need to do, whether you're on the good or bad end. That's part of life.
It wasn't a pretty ending to a game that had a little bit of everything, but it was a 48-31 victory for the Patriots as we move forward and look to the homecoming traction that we have every year, crowning a homecoming queen, having former Patriots come back home. We've got the Star Warriors coming to Patriot Field at Bagwell Stadium, and you're in the thick of region action and looking, believe it or not, here we are in the middle of October almost, looking towards the end of the regular season already.
Yeah, we got 3 more regular season games and then playoffs. You know, hopefully we're going to make the playoffs. I think we will. You know, so hopefully we can finish strong and kind of get through these next 3 games. And you know, I know Stahl's been struggling a little bit, but you know, they're another team. They're like Goose Creek, man. I don't know, boy. Them boys love playing us. They play hard.
Well, that's the thing with the Fort. You guys get the best punch from the other team. This is a game of the year for most of the other teams when they take on the Patriots.
Shoot, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It seems like it.
Well, it was a short week, and I know everybody's tired from that week with Ashley Ridge on Monday and then the game on Friday night.
It was good. Like I said, Goose Creek had the same daggone thing, so it was good. It was kind of, I don't know, if you didn't get hurt all the time, it'd kind of be cool having 2 games every week, to be honest with you.
Well, it's great to be back home, and now we invite all former Patriots to come back home for homecoming next Friday, October 14th, hosting the Star Warriors. Kickoff at 7:30, and as Coach mentioned, only 3 regular season games left, believe it or not. So we hope to see you out there at Patriot Field at Bagwell Stadium, and we thank you so much for watching this edition of the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show.